Ahoy there, Captain Benzie here, coming at you with another video for Eve Echoes. This time a follow-up to both my videos on the Can-U and the Shan-U, and of course a follow-up to the daily login rewards video that I did as well. Now, I mentioned in the daily login rewards video that I really didn't like that the Shawnee Prototype and the Can-U Prototype, the Destroyer and the Battlecruiser, were being added as login bonuses. That was a big concern for me. My biggest concern was the insurance vouchers, but still, those two ships were a very large concern to me. Now, the devs in the AMA did say, hang on a second, we have nerfed them, and people were all over my comment section telling me, it says that the ships are weak in combat, Benzie, can't you read? And it's like, yes, of course I read through it before doing the video, I'm not an idiot. Please, have some faith. The reason I said that was because I didn't trust that weak in combat did not just mean weaker than the non-prototype version, like there's a prototype Hurricane and a standard Hurricane. The prototype Hurricane is still an awesome ship, it's just not as good as the standard one. So I wanted to see the stats of the Can-U and the Shan-U to actually make a decision on how that is going forward. That's what this video is about, and I'm going to go over whether or not I think that that is actually a meaningful change and see whether or not that changes my stance on the daily login rewards. Now, before we jump in on this one, if you do enjoy the video, let me know by hitting a like on it at the end, subscribe to the channel for all things Eve Echoes, and ding that notification bell to know when the next video goes live. Let me know in the comment section below what topics you want to see me cover in future videos. Come find me on social media, and join the Catskill Cartel Discord to be amongst a friendly group of people talking about all things Eve Echoes. The Catskill Cartel Corporation, at this moment in time, is still taking on new applications, so you haven't missed your window. If you do want to come join us out in Nullsec and have a great time in Eve Echoes when it launches, do pop your application in. We're still going through those. Now, talking about having a great time, do come join that Discord, have a chat with everyone. And if you want to go the extra mile to help support this channel, you can do so on Patreon. Details are along the bottom of the screen now. Every pledge helps. We're really trying to up my internet here in Zimbabwe so that I might actually be able to maybe stream and make some more appearances and stuff like that, and just get a bit of stability. Anyway, that's said and done. Let's just get on with talking about this, because there's a lot to cover. Now, what you're looking at on screen now is the main sheet that the developers have given us. This is actually every ship in Eve Echoes with its full stats, all its skill bonuses, all that kind of thing. It is a massively in-depth sheet that goes over everything. So what I've actually done is I've grabbed the Shan-U and the Can-U and I've dragged them into their own little spreadsheets just to have a look at them and compare them to some other things. So we're going to start with the Shawnee Prototype and how that compares both with the Shan-U main, the Thrasher, Thrasher 2, Thrasher Fleet issue, and a Cormorant Navy issue, just to see how this looks. Now, first things first, looking at the Shawnee Prototype, you'll see it doesn't get any bonuses from skills. However, it does have a roll bonus of a small decomposer damage plus 75, optimal range plus 15%, shield plus 15, and warp stability plus 1. Now, I do wonder why it has a shield plus 15% bonus there. Why not just, if it's got 1,000 shield standard and a 15% bonus, why not just give it 1,150 shields, you know? But those damage bonuses are also slightly worrying, because if you look below, you've got an optimal range of plus 15 and a decomposer damage of 75. The standard Shan-U only gets a decomposer plus 80 and optimal range plus 25. It's a very minor upgrade, and in fact, I'm left thinking that when you actually go back over these, the Shan-U Prototype is a great ship. Well, if you're going into that, the Shan-U is only an upgrade, really, once you hit advanced small decomposer. That's ever so slightly worrying already off the bat, but let's be honest, the Shawnee Prototype Destroyer was not a big concern of mine in the beta, so I didn't actually rate it all that much. It was useful, great for ratting. In PvP, it's not all that much, although that warp stability still infuriates me. Why does a ship like this need warp stability? No other ships of Destroyer's size, other than the Interdictors, have that. Why does this one need it? I get that it's a faction ship, but to me, that's too much. Meta level 7 puts it on par with, well, far beyond all the others. I think tech level 7 actually is about the time that you start moving into battle cruisers, so it's that kind of level that you're looking at it. Size, inertia modifier, you can see the inertia modifier, the flight velocity, warp speed, all these kind of things are about standard for destroyers. High slots, mid slots, and low slots again are all about the same. Engineering rigs of 3 puts it as better than most of the other similar sized ships. Obviously, that's once you hit like a Thrasher 2, a Thrasher Fleet issue, and a Cormorant Navy issue. So the Tech 2 destroyers and the Tech 2 destroyers and the Navy issues are the only ones that get rigs, and they only get 2. The Shawnee destroyer, as prototype, still gets 3. I don't see why the prototype needs rigs. I really don't see why the prototype needs rigs. Take those off. Give the main one rigs, yeah, and 3 rigs, sure, if that's what you want. Shield obviously is a little bit lower than the standard, but still notably higher than most of the other ships. In fact, that puts it pretty much just a little bit lower than the Thrasher fleet issue on shields. Which in itself, again, kind of tells you where this ship lies in its power. Power grid output is above what you would expect from most destroyers. In fact, you can see there, the Cormorant Navy issue only gets 72 power grid, whereas the Shawnee Prototype is 78. Its shield resistances are across the board what you'd expect. Recharge rate is better than what you'd expect for ships that size. Again, it's only the Navy and fleet issues that compare with that. Armor is actually slightly lower, which is nice to see. It's a little bit more fragile, but even then we see the standard Shawnee is fairly fragile as well. And then we go through here through to structure. Structure, however, is a lot higher than a lot of the other ships. Basically, what you're looking at here is that the prototype Shawnee is on par with something like a Thrasher fleet issue, a Cormorant Navy issue, the military grade destroyers, and you get this at day 10. Fully equipped with all of the high slots that you need, plus all of the damage amplifiers for the low slots. That to me is still concerning. That is what, I mean, the fleet issue ships are advanced ships. You're not supposed to have those for quite a while, yet we're all going to have basically an equivalent one on day 10, but because it's a prototype, can be repaired with insurance vouchers. Oh yes, but it uses, I think, what, 4, 8 insurance vouchers? Who cares? You get like 20, 40 of them in the first month. 40 of them, I think we worked out as on Talking in Stations. That's a very survivable ship that, frankly, is a lot better than anything else you're going to have at that point in time. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. The Shawnee Prototype, as I said, this has been nerfed from the beta. Clearly, this has been nerfed from the beta because it did have the Advanced Small Decomposer upgrade and the Advanced Destroyer command bonuses in the beta. You can go watch the Shawnee Destroyer video to get an idea of what I thought of it there. I thought it was a solid ship. It was just disappointing considering how difficult I thought it was going to be. The Shawnee Prototype has nerfed a little bit. It is still above and beyond anything else you will have by day 10. But again, that is the tip of the iceberg. Let's go across to the can you sheet. This is the worrying ship. So let's have a look at this thing. This is our battle cruiser that we get on day 30, again with full fittings of the decomposers for the medium decomposers for its high slots and the damage controls for its lower slots. Again, we go across. It's got no skills. No skills are required to fly this ship well. No, it's got a roll bonus of plus 50% damage, 15% optimal range, 15% shield, and a warp stability of plus 1. I am glad to see that the warp stability has been reduced to plus 1. I still don't get why either of these ships need it. They are really powerful ships, stupidly powerful ships comparative to anything else in their class, and now you're telling me that I can't even lock them down. You're giving me free repairs of these, but I can't lock them down without 2 blasted warp disruptors. That's what annoys me about these. Okay, again, when we look at comparing this to its non-prototype version, the prototype and the non-prototype does get a slight increase in those 80% damage up from 50, 25% optimal range up from 15, and it also gains a command burst module slot instead of just having the shield bonus because it's got flat out better shields. You then also get, if you go into Advanced Medium Decomposers, again, you get those bonuses there. Now, Advanced Medium Decomposers, as we've seen, that is a skill that is only going to apply to this ship, just as the small Medium Decomposer skills are only going to apply to the Shawnee. So they are skills you don't really want to train in unless you're going to be pretty much dedicating yourself to these ships, which means there's going to be almost no reason to upgrade to a Can-U when the prototype is almost as good and doesn't require the skills. This requires you to have skilled through Medium Decomposer upgrade to 5 and then into Advanced Medium Decomposers to get those bonuses. That's insane. And again, I've put down here, we've got the Hurricane Prototype, a Hurricane, and a Drake, just because they're 3 ships that I thought would make a nice comparison side by side to this. Now, if we have a look at these ships as well, you can see inertia modifier is about what you'd expect, flight velocity is slightly slower than a Hurricane, and about on par with the Drake, which again you'd expect. Warp speed is equivalent, high slots goes to 4, but they are Decomposers, which do massive damage, and you get massive bonuses to those out the gate, which is just insane, down from 7. Drone bays have been added. I don't remember drone bays being actually on the Can-U. I need to go back and check that. Someone might be able to check. Drone bays on the Can-U Prototype and the Can-U Destroyer now. To me, I think that's new. 3 mid slots and 4 mid slots compared to 3 across the board, so the standard Can-U is better than most battlecruisers there, but the Prototype is on par with battlecruisers. Low slots of 4 compared to 5s. Engineering rigs still as 3. Again, prototypes, if they're going to be like trainers, why do they need engineering rigs? They certainly shouldn't have engineering and power grid rigs equal to their non-prototype version. Get rid of that. Shields. Shield of the Can-U Prototype is 5,483. Now, yes, the main ship gets a whopping 11,000, but take a look at those. That's a Drake and a Hurricane right there. 6,668 for the Hurricane, 7,567 for the Drake. The Can-U Prototype is not much more fragile at only 5,000, and the basic Can-U is going to be it's slightly worrying. Power grid output, again, the Can-U Prototype gets a bigger power grid than either the Drake or the Hurricane. If we scroll past the resistances to its armor, you can see it's slightly more it's slightly weaker on the armor than those are, but then once we hit structure, again, you're on par, if not slightly exceeding on prototype to prototype there. What does worry me here is when you get to capacitors. The capacitor for the Can-U was the one thing that I could actually complain about during the beta, but it's higher capacitor than the Drake or the Hurricane. In fact, it's almost higher capacitor than the Drake and the Hurricane combined. Very fast recharge time, which is pretty worrying, and the sensor strength here. The sensor strength has been nerfed, which I'm glad to see. Scan resolution, though, is right the way up still. This thing locks on faster than a Drake, considerably faster than a Drake, faster than a Hurricane. Max lock targets of 7 and 8 is more than either of those as well. You can see here that, quite frankly, it is a better battlecruiser. This thing comes to us free on day 30. It is better than a Hurricane Prototype. I would argue it is better than a Hurricane or a Drake, and it is free. Has this thing been meaningfully nerfed? No. Has it been nerfed? Yes, but meaningfully, definitely not. This thing is still a worrying powerhouse. It can still lock on faster. It's still got some very powerful weapons on it. You don't have to train into it to be able to use it. I get that developers want to give us a nice gift for day 10 and day 30, but this is still too much. Anyone in my comment section who was saying, oh yeah, but they're going to be weak in combat. It says right there, weak in combat. You're looking at this in black and white on the screen right now. These are not weak in combat. They are weaker than their non-prototype version. The Can-U Prototype is weaker than the Can-U, but a Can-U Prototype is on par with, if not better, than any other prototype and other battlecruisers. That's worrying. We get a better than battlecruiser on day 30 for free. That really skews things around, and I'm genuinely not happy by this. I sat there and I said to everyone, look, okay, the devs have said they're going to give us the ships, stats. They have said they're going to nerf them considerably. This is a nerf. It's not a considerable nerf. It's not. That is still better than anything you're going to be flying at that time, and it can still be repaired with those insurance vouchers, which were the biggest worry for me during that reveal, that we're getting all of these free insurance vouchers able to rebuild ships, and there's nothing to guarantee that we won't be getting those in daily login rewards. Now look, I love Echoes. I love the developers. They have been so good to us. They've been so active talking to us and listening to our feedback. So if any of the developers are watching this, please, for the love of all that is goodness, these ships would be fine if you got rid of those special bonuses. Make them suck. Make them suck. They are free ships that look awesome and are supposed to inspire people. They don't need to be solid ships. Make it just so they're basically collectible things. That's what you've written in there, weak in combat, just for collectors. That's not what they are when you look at the statistics here, and that's worrying. Anyway, that is just my thoughts and opinions. Those are my thoughts and opinions only. If you've got something different you're thinking right now, let me know in the comment section below. If I've missed something that you've caught onto, let me know down below as well. If you think, oh, Benzie, you're talking out your backside, you're way off base here, let me know. I love having a conversation with you guys. Yeah, some people can be really rude, and those comments tend to get ignored and or deleted, depending, so do be nice and polite. You're welcome to comment on my channel. You're not welcome to use it as an aggressive soapbox. That said, anyway, otherwise, as I said, come join us on the Catskill Cartel Discord. We are talking about this a lot. Once this landed today, people have been looking at all kinds of other ships on here as well. There have been a couple of nerfs and changes to some ships that I really like. The Worm is looking certainly better. I might do a video on that. The Dramiel, though, has had a few minor adjustments. It's like, no, leave my precious Dramiel alone. But anyway, that's more content for a future time. Let me know your thoughts on these in the comment section below. Otherwise, happy sailing, and see you in New Eden.